Well, welcome everyone to the Hardscape Live 2022 at the Norton Green Show. Thanks for being here. My name is Frank Bourque. I'll be the instructor and speaker today. This session is specifically on tools for hardscapes and technology that can help you bring your business to the next level. What I want to focus on today is mostly on what you can use to increase your efficiency, to make it easier for your crews, to make it sometimes even effortless, and to know if you can or can't afford, or what would be the next tool to buy to bring your business to the next level. So I have some guests today, some really great guests that I'm going to invite on stage to talk about some different features and different tools. A little bit about my background. I was a contractor for over 15 years in my own business. At one point, we had about 110 employees. We had 4 different locations. Now I'm a full-time consultant. I help businesses grow their business. Jeremy, about 3.5 years ago, was only making about $300,000 a year. He calls me up, he says, Frank, I'm just working too hard. It's just too hard on my knees. I'm only 35. It's gonna get, I can't do this for another 20 years, right? So we looked at his financials. He didn't think he could afford a bigger piece of equipment. We invested in one piece of equipment that I'll show you later on. He went from $300,000 to $1.5 million with the same crew, all right? Did that in 3 years. So just goes to show you don't need more people, you need better equipment, and you need to train them right to be doing it the way it's intended to work. My first guest is Mike. Mike is gonna be coming on stage showing you one of the tools that I think every single business owner, salesperson, and foreman should have in their truck. All right, this is something that you're gonna use every single day on site and every single time you're selling a job. It could, if you're the salesperson, it could save you at least an hour to an hour and a half if you have a big project to, if you're on a site and you have to take measurements and elevations. If you are the foreman, again, the same thing. You don't have to set up some equipment that can take you 15, 20 minutes every morning and to take it out every night, all right? So Mike, come on stage. So Mike, talk to us about the Smart Level. That's my personal favorite tool, because right from the start, I was able to save hours just doing the same type of work, right? But also when you're trying to train your people to use something, you want them to be able to do it more easily, faster, better. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Thank you, Frank. I appreciate you having me up. I'm Mike East, the owner of Smart Level. First off, for those of you that have never seen the level, this 2 major advantages over a laser. As far as setting the equipment up, you can use this with a monopod. I'm going to just set it down because it's a little easier to understand if I just set the display down, but we can put this on the monopod so you don't have to work on your knees and what have you. Basically, what you'll do is just set this down. You hold a little button until you see the 0. It's 5 seconds, you hear a little beep, and we zeroed it. Now, that's how fast the setup time is on this compared to a laser. You lay this flat, pull it out, zero it. It's showing you how low you are, or it'll show you how high you are in inches and fractions, centimeters, or whatever you want to set it in. With the laser, you know, you've got that laser beam will hit your story pole maybe 29 7/16 of an inch. You've got addition to do the rest of the day. Right now, we're sitting at 13 3/8 of an inch above where we zeroed it. It's that quick and easy. It increases the work base of the people that can use this. No longer do people have to add fractions in their head. And at the end of the day, that's kind of frustrating, even if you know what you're doing. You've been using lasers for forever. It takes all that out of it. There's no clear line of sight involved. So you've got a valid reading if you're going around buildings, obstructions, things of that nature.
Mike, I like the fact that you mentioned how easy it is just by putting it on the ground. You also have a monopod if you wanted to do the same thing but not have to reach down.
Exactly. We've got the monopod. It's got a magnet on it. Simply extend this to whatever height is convenient for you. And of course you can't see it, but the level works whether you're setting it down flat or up on the edge. And this is the way, if I were out on a job site, I'd be taking my readings. I wouldn't be on my knees on the ground, but that's a little easier to see when you set the equipment down for those of you that have never seen this type of equipment before.
Let's talk a little bit about what else it can do, because the most amazing part to me is if you're a salesperson, okay, great, you've just saved a lot of time because you don't have to set up anything up. Second part, if you're a designer and you're trying to get the data off the site to put it into your design software, tell us a little bit about that, because now you can use that technology, that digital technology, to import all that information without even have to take out your piece of paper and pen, right?
Exactly. If you're designing especially if you're using CAD, but not even, you don't even have to use CAD. The level will actually survey a job site out and give you your X, Y, and Z readings. As this is what you're seeing on the screen here. There was a photo of the app. That print on the right was surveyed. Have you ever used your phone as a tape measure, where it actually looks at the ground and measures distance? We've incorporated that, which is called augmented reality, and combined that with Smart Level, which gives you your height or your Z readings. And this particular program is Landscape Architect, Idea Spectrum. They have worked with us, and it's simple, click, 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 and you've got that topo map from your app into your laptop, as far as design work goes. Now, for some of you that are not using the CAD, if you want the simple version, we also have what is called image mapping. This is where we dropped, in the contour map, we dropped an aerial drone image in. This is a small area, but you can see how you have all of the data in that to figure if you were putting retaining walls in, what your pitch is going to be, if you're going to have to remove material. Everything is right there, quick and handy for you. Okay, now this is the super easy version of using the level for design work. You simply take a photograph with your phone. If you've got a drone image or a satellite image are amazing. And any image that's in your phone library, the app has access to, so you just go in and choose that image, and then you can drop your readings directly into that image. So you end up with a photograph with all of the readings from your job site dropped into a photograph. There's no more sketching it out on a legal pad, trying to remember if you had all the readings right or what the job site was. A photo is literally worth 1,000 words, and when you've got all of your readings and distance measurements into it, it's just invaluable for designers. Also, this in your app, of course, if you're connected to the internet, you can send this to a design crew. So if you have multiple crews and a question, you can take a photograph of a job site with the readings, send it anywhere in the world you want to send it, and get an opinion on exactly what you need to do. Sometimes that comes in very handy also.
Absolutely. When it comes to change orders, when it comes to any type of, like you said, elevation changes, it can be done in minutes. In minutes.
If you have a homeowner that's changed their mind on a job site and your crew's on the job site, and they decided they want to extend a job and there's a grade that needs to be accounted for, your people on the site can just take a photograph of it, drop the readings in, and send it into the office, and whoever's in charge of rebidding the job has got that information basically instantly.
Let's talk about maintenance, because we all know as contractors, it's never perfect. Sometimes we run over stuff with our equipment. If that line gets damaged, how hard is it to repair it? Because I know other brands, it's really hard. You have to send it in, and then you don't see your level for another month or two. So what happens with this?
Exactly. With the competition, and a lot of you know who the competition is, there's a gas in that particular unit that leaks out whether you use it or not, and especially if you damage the unit, you have to send it back to Escondido, California. It's gone for a month or so, and there's a fee in having it fixed. This level, there's a lightweight mineral oil in the tubing. There's no gas or anything, so unless you actually run over this tubing and damage it, and it's tough. We've been in manufactured housing and different industries for 25 years. The tubing is small enough, most of the time you run over it with a dozer or a trackhoe, it just mashes it into the gravel or what have you and doesn't damage it. If somebody does take a spade or a shovel and just directly cuts it into worst case scenario, you can always unhook the tubing from the display itself, cut the bad section out. Is a lightweight mineral oil. As you hook it back up, you just bleed the air out. So you're up and running on the job site that day. If you lose enough fluid that you have to add, it has a reserve built in. So if you see someone damage it, you're not going to even need to add fluid to it. But if somebody cuts it and you go to lunch and come back and have to add fluid, you can actually use Johnson's baby oil. We designed it like that to keep this in the field in operation as easily as possible.
And Mike, price point wise, what are we looking at? Is it comparable to pricing on laser levels? What are we?
Yeah, the level's priced at $895.
Yep.
That includes the carrying case, monopod. There's an app, of course, with the level. There's no maintenance on the app. There's no additional hidden charges anywhere. It's $895, and that's the total cost. So it's in line with inexpensive lasers. And this will do, in some cases, some of the functions will compare with very expensive dual slope lasers, which there's a much more advanced learning curve on that and a much higher cost.
Absolutely. So you get the Smart Level app that's easily downloadable.
Yes.
And all this comes in ready to go.
Everything comes ready to go. There's no additional charges. Now, unlike the competition, our level is an industrial computer that's designed to do the work of a level. So in the last 3.5 years since we've had this particular model on the market, we've come out with several upgrades. You upgrade it very similar to the way you would upgrade your laptop. And any of the new features you have. So far, we haven't charged a single penny for any of the new features that come out. And the equipment is designed. When I designed this initially, I told my engineers, I don't want this to have to be replaced every 2, 3, 4 years like a lot of electronics are. We designed it to last a decade, and the way we're going right now, the original models are going to outlive that expectation.
I did a little bit of math because one of my clients, contractor, purchased one. They wanted to know before purchasing it if it was going to pay for itself. So we just calculated, I said as a very, very low minimum amount per week, how much time it would save them. They said, well, if we can go up to 4 hours, that would be great. 4 hours per week. They work pretty much all year long, so that's 52 weeks a year, maybe give or take 1 or 2. And then if they save 4 hours a week, that's, well, you can do the math, almost, we're up to like 100, 200 hours. Just the man hours on that job where the person doing the work can be doing something else, right? That it's almost $9,000 a year in savings for the company, in value of the savings. That's missing out on opportunity somewhere else when you're just taking more time to do the same amount of work. So that just goes to show if that's under $1,000, it's paid for itself 9 times. With other jobs you're able to do for revenue, you'll be able to do revenue somewhere else, $9,000 in revenue somewhere else to pay for that. So anyways, thank you so much, Mike.
Frank, thank you so much.